why more Americans are retiring abroad, and why it might be the smartest decision you'll ever make. According to recent data from the U.S. Social Security Administration, nearly 1 million Americans are now collecting their Social Security benefits while living overseas. Let that sink in for a second. That number has almost doubled in the past decade. And they're not just scattered in one or two places. You'll find them in Portugal, Mexico, Costa Rica, Panama, Thailand, the Philippines, and even places you might not think of as retirement spots, like Japan or parts of Eastern Europe. Now, this isn't about a handful of millionaires running off to sip margaritas on a private beach. No, this is a much bigger, faster-growing movement. More and more ordinary Americans, teachers, nurses, small business owners, postal workers, are deciding not to spend their later years in the United States. Today, we're going to talk about the 3 biggest benefits of retiring abroad. And if you're still on the fence, I'm going to walk you through the real numbers, the practicalities, and yes, the emotional hurdles, so you can see why so many are packing their bags for a new life overseas. 1. The harsh reality. U.S. retirement costs are squeezing the middle class dry. We have to start with the cold, hard truth. The cost of retiring in America is pushing the middle class to the breaking point. In the personal finance world, there's a sacred guideline called the 4% rule. In plain English, it says that after you retire, you can safely withdraw about 4% of your total investments each year, and in theory, you won't run out of money during your lifetime. For decades, that rule was the bedrock of retirement planning. But now, that foundation is cracking. Here's why. Let's say you want $50,000 a year for living expenses in retirement. That's not an extravagant lifestyle in most parts of the U.S. It's modest, maybe comfortable if you're careful. Using the 4% rule, how much would you need saved? Do the math. $50,000 divided by 0.04 equals $1.25 million. Now here comes the painful reality. According to a recent report from Northwestern Mutual, the average retirement savings for Americans is just $88,400. You see the problem? The dream says you need $1.25 million. Reality says you've got under $90,000. That's not a gap. That's a canyon. And this canyon is the result of what I call the retirement impossible triangle. First side, skyrocketing living costs. Groceries, gas, housing, property taxes, utilities, medical bills. All up, up, up. Inflation in the last few years hasn't just been high, it's been brutal. Second side, wages that haven't kept up. For decades, middle-class salaries, both white-collar and blue-collar, have risen far slower than housing prices, healthcare costs, and the overall cost of living. Even Social Security cost of living adjustments can't keep up with real inflation. Third side, chronic undersaving. After the 2008 financial crisis, many Americans never recovered enough to put away serious retirement funds. Put those 3 sides together, and here's what you get. For an average retiree relying mostly on Social Security plus maybe a small nest egg, the idea of living a comfortable, dignified retirement in the U.S. is becoming almost impossible. The average Social Security check? Around $1,500 to $2,000 a month. In many U.S. cities, that barely covers rent, let alone food, healthcare, and utilities. It's not that people don't want to stay in their hometowns. Many simply can't afford to. And that's where retiring abroad stops being a nice idea and starts becoming a lifeboat. 2. Your dollar buys more life overseas. Here's the magic. The exact same $2,000 Social Security check that has you pinching pennies in Los Angeles could let you live very well in parts of Mexico, Thailand, or the Philippines. Imagine this. In LA, maybe you rent a small room and share a kitchen. You watch your grocery bill like a hawk. You never eat out unless it's dollar menu night. But in Chiang Mai, Thailand, or Merida, Mexico, you could rent a modern, air-conditioned apartment with security for $1,000 a month or less. Eat 3 meals a day out, and not just fast food, but real sit-down meals, for $10 to $15 total. You could even hire someone to come in and clean or cook a few times a week without breaking your budget. In other words, what's barely survival money in the U.S. becomes a comfortable, even luxurious lifestyle abroad. 3. Better, more affordable healthcare. This one's a biggie. If you've lived in the US long enough, you know what healthcare means here. Appointments months out. Bills in the thousands, sometimes tens of thousands, even if you have insurance. Drug prices 2, 3, 5 times higher than in other countries. In fact, studies show that over 60% of US personal bankruptcies are linked to medical bills. You climb the mountain of working life thinking you'll rest at the top, only to find a giant healthcare black hole ready to swallow your savings. Here's the twist. America has some of the most advanced medical technology in the world, but when the World Health Organization ranks healthcare systems for fairness, affordability, and overall population health, the US ranks shockingly low among developed nations. Meanwhile, countries like Portugal, Malaysia, Costa Rica, and Thailand have world-class private hospitals with English-speaking doctors and prices at a fraction of what you'd pay in the States. In Mexico, for example, you can get high-quality private care for about 1/4 the US price. And many countries offer health insurance plans specifically for expats. But what about the practicalities? The two biggest worries I hear from people are: 1. Will I still get my Social Security and pension overseas? Yes, unless you're in one of a handful of restricted countries like North Korea or Cuba. The SSA will direct deposit your check into a foreign bank account. Your 401k, IRA, or other retirement accounts can also be transferred internationally. 2. How can I legally live in another country long-term? Many countries welcome retirees with open arms because they're not taking jobs, they're bringing steady income and spending it locally. Some of the most popular options. Portugal's D7 visa. No big investment required, just proof of passive income, often as low as $1,000 per month. Thailand's retirement visa. Available if you're 50 plus and have savings of about $20,000 or steady monthly income. Mexico's temporary/permanent resident visa, often approved with just proof of Social Security income. Panama's pensionado visa, one of the most generous in the world, requiring only $1,000 per month in lifetime pension income, plus tons of local discounts. The emotional hurdle, family, and the unknown. The biggest block for many isn't money. It's the heart. What about my kids and grandkids? What if I don't know anyone? I get it. We've all experienced that stranger in a strange land feeling at some point. But technology and global communities have changed the game. Today, your smartphone can translate languages in real time, guide you via GPS, pay bills, and connect you instantly to people back home. And in most popular retirement destinations, there are already thriving expat communities, including fellow Americans and English speakers, ready to help you settle in. As for family, here's a mindset shift many overseas retirees swear by. Trade low-quality togetherness for high-quality visits. If your kids live across the country now, how often do you see them? Maybe a few times a year at best. Moving overseas doesn't have to change that, and it could make the visits even better. Instead of being the empty nest parent, waiting for a phone call, you become the parent living in a vacation paradise. Your kids come to visit because they want to, and every visit becomes a memory-making adventure. Plus, the money you save overseas can help you afford flights home for special events, or even fly the whole family out to see you. And thanks to video calls, you can be there for school plays, birthdays, and everyday chats. Final thought: retirement as a new starting line. This path isn't for everyone. It takes an open mind and a bit of adventure in your soul. But for many, it offers something precious: the chance to redesign your retirement on your terms. Retirement doesn't have to be the last stop on the line. It can be the starting point of a new chapter, one with lower stress, better health, more freedom, and a lifestyle you thought was out of reach. So if you've ever dreamed of a warmer climate, a slower pace, and a better quality of life for less money, maybe it's time to start exploring. Your passport could be the key to your best years yet.